It's crazy just how many time machines we have now.
We've got the DeLorean, of course, plus the TARDIS, and of course, Bill and Ted's phone booth. Well, power up the flux capacitor, guys, stare into the time vortex and strum up your excellent guitar, because it's time to get Victorian. So, 3 time machines isn't enough for you all? What a ridiculous question, McCluck. Of course it isn't. Not as long as we haven't included the one which started it all. The Victorian-era time machine conjured up by H.G. Wells in his novel of the same name, which started the whole concept of using devices to travel in time. Even better, it was turned into a movie in the 60s.
Oh, was it any good?
It had some amazing effects for its time, especially the stop-motion capture, which won it the Oscar for Best Special Effects. And the story is faithful to the book in some ways, and quite different in others.
How so?
Put it this way. Wells was way more pessimistic about humanity's future.
Well, that's all well and good, people, and I do share your excitement about adding another time machine to our collection. I do. But Wells was not the first to publish a story about a time-traveling contraption.
Wells' book was published in 1895. You're telling me someone had the same idea earlier than that?
Well, actually, I can think of 2. One was a short story called The Clock That Went Backwards, written by Edward Page Mitchell in 1881, 14 years before Wells.
That was an ordinary-looking clock that happened to bring people back in time, Doc. Not a dedicated, specially built time machine.
If that's your criteria, Mouse, then Wells still isn't the front-runner, as Enrique Gaspar wrote El Anachronopete in 1887, and the centerpiece of that story is a machine specifically engineered for time travel.
Did you actually read the story, Doc?
I know what you're getting at, McCluck, and fair warning, as this is a spoiler for a story published well over a century and a quarter ago, so brace yourselves. But yes, it's revealed that by the end, that book's entire adventure was but a dream, but it's still a story about a time machine written before H.G. Wells.
Okay, you're right, but that story wasn't made into a movie, was it? Considering the core of that story is the protagonist forcing his niece to go back in time with him to a more barbaric and permissive era so he can force her to marry him? Who in their right mind would think that's box office gold? No one with sensible morals, that's who. But we're getting sidetracked here. Indeed we are, Captain. H.G. Wells' story didn't focus on an ordinary object imbued with some kind of magic, nor did it end up being a dream. And in that respect, I would strongly argue that this was the first proper time-traveling story using a dedicated mechanical device. And the time machine created for the movie was absolutely iconic. So iconic, in fact, it cameoed in other movies like Gremlins and TV shows like the overall dreadful Big Bang Theory. And all these reasons are why we're going to be recreating it here. So what are we waiting for?
Let's get building!
Now, first and foremost, this is not our own design. I found it by browsing through Rebrickable, and it's the only model user D3Ner has submitted, yet of all the models based on that device I could find on there, it was the best looking and most detailed one. So I thought, why reinvent the wheel, eh? Always a good idea to leave wheels as they are. Trust me, I'm an engineer. I did, however, make a few minor alterations here and there to improve the look of it, based on my own taste and preferences, of course. We've done that for official LEGO sets, so why not mod a mock? Exactly. And because this is overwhelmingly inspired by D3Ner's design, your best bet would be to download the instructions from Rebrickable yourself and compare it with our animated build so you can see where their model ends and all alterations begin. You'll find a link to the instructions down in the description.
pretty good.
Yeah, in the virtual world. But how does it cope with stress, pressure, and gravity?
See for yourself, McCluck. The finished product, which contains all of our alterations, does look pretty good. Although, you're right, there were issues with it, the biggest being the assembly that make up the bars that wrap around the time machine. They were a pick to get just right so every part would remain attached without one connection or another popping out.
But you obviously succeeded, though. You didn't use Craggle or anything like that.
Nope, no Craggle was involved. I just had to slowly alter how deep each part was inserted into another until I found the sweet spot. Which leads us to the big round disc at the back. This one essentially rests in place and is wedged by that wraparound bar system.
That can't be that sturdy. I bet if you breathe on it, it'll fall apart.
It's not as bad as that, McCluck, but it is fragile, and to be fair, it can and does apply to a fair number of MOCs I've encountered over the years. They look great, but they don't reach LEGO's strict, sturdy design guidelines.
Still looks good, mind.
Oh yeah, if you're careful with it, it looks great, absolutely. But we're not done yet. There's still something missing.
Yeah, you need someone to operate the device.
Right you are, Gigi. We need a minifig. One that should look like Rod Taylor, the actor who played George, the time traveler in the movie.
Matching the outfit might be a bit of a challenge.
You're not wrong, Mouse. The trousers were easy. A pair of dark grey legs would do the trick. The torso, however, was indeed tricky. But thankfully, after exploring Bricklick's vast inventory, I found this one, which, although it doesn't really match his outfit, is swanky enough to do the job, I think. Add a generic head and some plain dark tan hair, and we've got ourselves a Victorian time traveler, don't you think?
He does bear a passing resemblance to the actor, and although the time machine is bigger than how it appeared in the movie, it's not too disproportionate.
Oh, can he sit inside the time machine?
Oh yes, he can, Gigi, although you do have to be a little careful so as not to knock those bars off as you do so.
You sure you'd rather not use Craggle, just to be safe?
I'd really rather not. I mean, I know we used it once on the massive Lumibrick City Bridge, but that was to make sure the mechanism to raise and lower the bridge worked after it failed a bunch of times. Plus, the offended Craggle was hidden inside the model so no one could see it.
That's right. Here, it would be hard to conceal the offending sticky material.
So there you have it, a latest addition to our Time Machine collection, on its own, and surrounded by previous installments in the series. Do you feel this is a fitting recreation of the machine from that iconic movie? Do you like the changes we've made to the rebrickable model? Whatever your thoughts, do share them with us in the comments, and if you like what we do,
and how we do it,
and you feel you'd like to help us out,
please hit the join button and become a channel member. Or consider joining our Patreon instead.
And if you'd like to support us but can't manage yet another subscription, you can always buy us a coffee.
We'll leave a link to it down in the description.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Now, first and foremost, this is not our own design. I found it by browsing.
Enrique Gaspar.
Your best bet would be to download the instructions from Rebrickable.
El Anacronopete.